Hello dear students, let's continue chapter number 2 of history in which we are discussing about the establishment of company rule in India. You might be wondering that why this word Nabob that is written in place of Nawab. Actually, this is the Anglicist version of the word Nawab and the word that was used for company officials who begin to have visions of living like Nawabs. After the Battle of Plassey, the actual Nawab of Bengal were forced to give land and vast sums of money as personal gift to the company officials. Robert Clive, you might have remembered. He himself amassed a fortune in India. He came to Madras at the age of 18 and here he earned a huge sum of money. When he was appointed as the governor of Bengal in 1764, he was asked to remove corruption in company administration. But he was himself cross-examined by the British Parliament, which was suspicious of vast wealth. Although he was acquitted and he committed suicide in 1774. East India Company used a variety of political and economic methods to extend its influence in India. And one of such method it was subsidiary alliance. Subsidiary meaning helpful or the supportive. According to the terms of this alliance, Indian rulers were not allowed to have their independent forces. They were to be protected by the company and had to pay for the subsidiary forces. Under Lord Wellesley, the then Governor General, the Nawab of Awadh and Hyderabad, they were forced to give over parts of their territory as they had failed to pay for the alliance. So this was the main condition, they had to pay for their protection. These were some of the Indian states which entered into this alliance. For example, Hyderabad, Awadh, Mysore and Tanjore. Let's talk about Anglo-Mysore Wars. Mysore, it was known for its prosperity, and Tipu Sultan, who was popularly known as the Tiger of Mysore. He was a strong ruler of this kingdom. Tipu Sultan, he was the son of King Hyder Ali. In 1785, Tipu controlled the trade of Malabar coast and stopped the export of sandalwood, pepper and cardamom, which made the British very angry. Moreover, he asked his local merchant not to deal with the Britishers. He also employed French in his army in order to modernize his army. Means he had a good relations with the French. The British were furious. They saw Hyder Ali and Tipu as ambitious, arrogant and dangerous ruler who had to be controlled and crushed. 4 wars were fought with Mysore. Only in the last, the Battle of Seringapatnam, the company ultimately win a victory. Let's talk about the Anglo-Maratha Wars. Dear students, you might have remembered the third battle of Panipat, which you studied in the 7th class. The battle was fought in between of Ahmad Shah Abdali and the Marathas in the year 1761. With the defeat in this battle, the Marathas' dream of ruling from Delhi was shattered. 3 Anglo-Maratha wars were fought from the year 1775 to 1818. The claim to paramountcy, this was a policy which was initiated by Lord Hastings, the then Governor General. It claimed that the company was paramount or supreme. Many kingdoms they were annexed under this policy and they were Kittur, Sindh and Punjab, which were taken over by the British. Doctrine of lapse. This policy, it was devised by Lord Dalhousie. It stated that a kingdom could be annexed if the king died without a male heir. Many kingdoms were annexed, for example Satara, Udaipur, Nagpur, Jhansi and Awadh. How can we forget the sacrifice of Rani Lakshmi Bai? She fought with the British. It's due to this policy only, the policy of doctrine of lapse. So dear students, this was all about this module. We shall continue the chapter with the next module. Thank you. Have a nice day.